The film that I was recommended to watch recently that I pulled up with is Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. It's written and directed by Eliza Hittman, and it's about a young woman from Pennsylvania who, following a sexual encounter, has found herself pregnant and is trying to seek an abortion. The film is about the various hoops required to jump through and obstacles required to negotiate in order to have an abortion. It turns out that it's a great deal harder than anyone could reasonably expect. Um, the young woman, played by Sidney Flanigan, who I thought was excellent, um, first goes to a clinic where she is, it turns out, given incorrect information and then shown a video from some deranged anti-choice group. Um, and so she's unable to actually have the procedure. She winds up having to go to New York, where she's assisted by her sympathetic cousin who steals money from their work supermarket where they work as cashiers. And even then, it's an expensive 2-day procedure. They have no money for hotels. They have no money to stay anywhere. And it's every encounter they have reinforces how the system is stacked against them. Uh, how society is constructed in such a way as to limit the lives of the people who are vulnerable. Um, when she goes to the clinic in New York, the young woman finds that the people there are much more helpful, much more sympathetic. But nevertheless, there is a degree of bureaucracy, even if it's from a position of needing the right information in order to make sure she gets the care she needs. And that's where the title comes in. Um, there is a series of questions she is asked, to which the answers she gives are from the list never, rarely, sometimes, always. And at first they are not necessarily innocuous, but more reasonable, like hard drug use. But then it goes into questions of sexual violence, and it turns out that she has been, in fact, repeatedly raped, and she has been sexually active from a young age, and it's implied, in my interpretation at least, that it was not always, particularly at that young age, of her own choice. It's a tough film. It's a tough subject matter, but I was particularly impressed by the clarity of the handling. It could be difficult and weighty, but I found it incredibly absorbing and surprisingly, given the subject matter, surprisingly easy to watch. I was totally engaged with it, absorbed with it, and although the film was nearly 2 hours long, it felt like it flew by, much more so than other shorter, ostensibly lighter films. I thought Flanagan was excellent, and I thought Hittman's screenplay was excellent. So it's a very good film on a difficult subject, which I'd recommend highly. I actually watched it over a week ago, and I wanted to give it time to percolate before I recorded this review. Um, but my initial feelings haven't changed at all. I think it's a very fine piece of work.